Hello my friend, welcome to the second episode of Camping in Cars, where I test out cars and the campability of them. If you're wondering what happened to episode 1, well, it's right here. And it's not coming out because I had some technical difficulties. And it ends up, it's just not a good car for camping. Behind me, I'm testing out the all-new 2023 Ford F350 6.7 liter turbo diesel with an 8-foot bed. Is this the truck for my new truck camper build? Let's get into it. This thing is like a spaceship to me, and that's coming from somebody who has the most basic 2017 work truck you could get. I'm talking manual everything, manual windows, manual locks. When I say stock, I mean stock. For example, if I double click this button, doesn't this seem a little excessive? Do we not use our hands now? There's some other really weird things about these new trucks too. Everybody knows how to jump into the back of the truck bed and enjoy their favorite beverage. But not with these new trucks. Let me show you. Like, okay, that didn't go so gracefully. This is crazy. I mean, a little unnecessary if you ask me, but maybe I'm the kook. Maybe this is why the trucks are getting so expensive these days. Ford, can you just keep your kooky contraptions and focus on giving us a powerful and reliable engine? You can keep the gizmos and gadgets. All gizmos and gadgets aside, I'm gonna rate this truck a 9 out of 10 for campability, for many reasons that I'll get into. First of which is the payload rating. This truck has a payload of approximately 4,200 pounds, which means I can put all types of truck campers in it. And not all trucks, or F350s, have a payload of around 4,200 pounds. Depends how it's optioned from the factory. It can increase or decrease depending on the truck. I see a lot of truck camping rigs driving down the highway that look to be way over their gross vehicle weight rating, and that can get you in a lot of trouble if you get into an accident. I just realized over the last couple years, a lot of people don't have any idea that the GVWR is a thing. You can't go over your GVWR. But maybe you're not into truck camping and you tow something. You can tow a travel trailer, a fifth wheel, or a toy hauler with this truck. I'm actually standing on top of the fifth wheel prep package as we speak. And this vehicle has around a max towing capacity of 22,500 pounds. This is part of the fifth wheel prep package right here, along with the plugs under the floor. Up front, under the hood, we have a 6.7 liter Power Stroke V8 turbo diesel engine with 475 horsepower and 1,050 foot-pounds of torque. You can optionally go with the high output engine that produces 500 horsepower and 1,200 foot-pounds of torque. Maybe you don't want diesel though, and you can step it down to the 7.3 liter gas engine that has around 430 horsepower and 480 foot-pounds of torque. I've always stuck with gas engines in my trucks. This will be the first diesel engine I'm possibly going with. And that's for a couple reasons that we can discuss later. But let's check it out closer to the engine. She's a beauty, but she looks really complicated to work on. Coming from an F250 6.2 liter V8 gas engine, this thing is like a rocket ship. Let's take it for a spin, and hopefully we don't end up like this guy. We'll talk about the engine specs in the car. I should probably lower this too. Let's go. Okay, hold on. A little bit too much torque, I guess. This new 2023 6.7 liter engine is very similar to the new high output version. The main differences between the two is that the high output has increased displacement for the high pressure fuel pump, allowing it to pump greater volume of fuel into the injectors by about 6%. They also water cooled the compressor housing. The turbo can now make 35 psi at peak torque and also has upgraded stainless steel manifolds and turbocharger up pipes since the high output engine is creating much more heat. There were many other small changes, and a lot of them trickle down into the standard 6.7 liter turbo diesel. The other changes are a little bit more technical than the average person cares about though. Most people just want to know that this engine is gonna go, and with 475 horsepower and 1,050 pounds of torque, you shouldn't have any problems getting to the mall. The engine is also paired with a 10-speed automatic transmission, which is absolutely amazing, and it shifts seamlessly. It also comes with selectable drive modes that you can choose from, which I think are a little bit silly because I don't know, I know how to drive, but I guess we don't know how to drive trucks anymore. They give you normal, eco, slippery road, and tow haul. They also have off-road, in case you're interested. This truck comes with the FX4 package, which essentially means a little bit better shocks and skid plates. To me, I'm just seeing the skid plates because with stock shocks, it's just not a great ride. If you want a better suspension, you're gonna want something aftermarket and custom, something with a remote reservoir. This truck has a rear electronic locker. It comes in a 3.31 or 3.55 axle ratio from the factory. If you're somebody who wants larger tires like 37s, you might want to go with a 3.55 axle ratio, as it might help with the acceleration. On the other hand, if you want better fuel economy, you might want to go with the 3.31, but that's in theory. When you consider all of the horsepower, torque, and 10-speed transmission working together in real world specs aside, you may not really be able to tell a difference, so it would be interesting how this thing would do with 37s. Did I mention that this chrome package is hideous? Up front, there's manual and auto locking hubs. Most will probably just keep it in auto so you can switch it into four-wheel on the fly. And I'll show you how you can do that inside the truck. 2 high, 4 high, 4 low, and then the electronic rear locker. And then these are the drive modes I was talking about earlier. If you don't know how to drive a truck, turn it and it switches. One thing I noticed right off the bat when I drove this truck is that the suspension and the ride is much smoother than I anticipated. A lot of times with these bigger trucks, the F350, the suspension is like neck breaking, like not fun at all. But this was really nice on these bumpy roads, F350, empty bed. It's much better than some of the older version trucks that I've driven in the past. Some people love these truck bed step-ups and some hate them. I think that they're great. If you're looking for a pop-up camper, a slide-in, this can be really beneficial because every time you have to unclip and clip the pop-up, you can just step right on these side steps. Front seats have some great features, including booty heaters for those cold hot spring mornings, and my new favorite, booty coolers for those really hot days so I don't get in and scorch these butts. In the back seat, there's also booty heaters, but they don't get the booty coolers. Control all of them independently with these nice little buttons. Check them out. There's also an 120 volt outlet up front that has a max of up to 400 watts, which really comes in handy when you want to plug in a hair curler out in the middle of nowhere when you're camping. There's also one in the back. The heads-up driving display. Let's see how this changes on the trail ahead of me. It's kind of a washed out road. We're going uphill. 3 degrees, 4 degrees. You can also change the heads-up display to show less information, including the temperature, the speed that you're going, and the speed limit. There we go! Do some donuts, get some air. Too bad this isn't the super truck that I had. Man, this thing just like stock suspension, it just floats. The combination of the turbo and the extra torque from the diesel makes this thing so much more fun to drive. I'm about to like jump it. I know I'm gonna get comments saying that the turbo diesels are more unreliable, but it's just so much fun. I mean, who doesn't love watching the boost build up? The stock suspension on my truck that I've been driving is horrendous. When I say horrendous, it was horrendous. Even after putting some mods on it, it's like teeth chattering. This one is worlds different. Yeah, this thing is sick. I got a backup camera and it's so great. The 10-speed transmission in this truck is absolutely fabulous. It's so smooth, you can't tell that it's shifting in between gears 1 through 10. With the 6-speed that I have been used to driving, especially on steep hill grades. It's always hunting for gears. With this one, it's just so smooth. You don't notice any of that. I'd be really curious to know how this would do with larger tires and a full payload in the back. Another feature that I almost forgot is 360-degree lighting, and that adds to the campability of it because you can see your campsite when you're setting it up, whether or not you have a truck camper on the back. Campability, still a 9 out of 10 because you can also sleep in the back seat. I fit pretty nicely. This is not ideal. I was gonna sleep in the bed of the truck, but it's supposed to pour tonight. Thankfully, I stopped by In-N-Out because I'm having my cheat meal tonight. I'm trying a double-double for the first time. So if you're from the East Coast of the United States or anywhere else in the world, you've probably never heard of or tried In-N-Out. And from what I can tell, people on the West Coast are brainwashed into believing this is one of the best burgers in the United States. And I don't know what's wrong with them because it's definitely Five Guys. Usually I get the protein style or a single. The protein style is just a single wrapped in lettuce, but I've never tried the double-double, so I'm gonna give it another shot. Okay, so here's the breakdown. We've got 2 patties. We've got lettuce, tomato, their spread, grilled onions, and 2 toasted buns. I think that sums up the gist of it. Wish me luck. It's pretty good. It's better than the protein style, but it's still not as good as Five Guys. And like, what's up with these? They're like these tiny little dinky fries. You know what's up? Five Guys fries. They're nice, thick, fresh cut fries. Next week, if I'm able to keep this thing, I might be putting something pretty cool on the back of it and taking it on a camping adventure. So you don't want to miss it. For now, I'm just gonna finish my dinner, get some rest, and then I'll catch you next week. Boop. Thanks for watching. Bye. It's so big. There's another onion.